is Ken Widener, and I teach audiovisual technology here at Wayne County High School. As many of you are well aware, it's been a tradition for many years for our high school to host a program for our veterans to honor our local heroes. Because of the ongoing COVID crisis, we're not able to hold our traditional assembly. The students, faculty, and staff felt that was unacceptable for us to not have something for our veterans. Instead, this year, we hope that you will accept this virtual Veterans Day program. At this time, if you'll please stand for our Star Spangled Banner, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In this first segment of our program, we would like to acknowledge our military veterans and give a little history of each of its branches. As many of you know, our armed forces currently have 7 branches. The United States military includes the Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, National Guard, and our newest, the Space Force. The Space Force was created in November of 2019. Being so new, we're not trying to exclude it per se, but because it's still in its infancy, there's just not a ton of information just yet. In fact, it doesn't even have a service medley. With that said, let's learn a little bit about our branches that our community has military veterans of.
The United States Army is the land service branch of the United States Armed Forces. This branch of the military was founded on June 14, 1775, over a year before America was established as a country. With it being founded so long ago, the U.S. Army is the oldest service out of all 6 branches. Although the Army wears camouflage on its missions, the official colors are black and gold. The official flag of the Army displays a blue replica of the War Office seal set on a white field. Beneath the seal is a broad scarlet scroll bearing the inscription in white letters, United States Army. The Secretary of Defense is the second highest ranking authority that the Army reports to, first being the President. The U.S. Marine Corps is one of the 6 branches of the military. On November 10, 1775, the Second Continental Congress meeting in Philadelphia passed a resolution stating that 2 battalions of Marines be raised for service as landing forces with the fleet. The resolution established the Continental Marines and marked the birthplace of the United States Marine Corps. Today, there are more than 200,000 active duty and 38,000 reserves, but the Marines are still the smallest branch of the Department of Defense's armed forces. The Marines' expeditionary units are self-sufficient with their own tanks, artillery, and air forces. The The motto of the service is Semper Fidelis, meaning always faithful in Latin. Although the Marines may be the smallest branch of the military, every hour of service and sacrifice all those men and women gave will forever be appreciated.
The Navy was created on October 13, 1775, in Philadelphia by General George Washington. It was formed in order to defend the American colonies from British attack and preserve our American freedoms. The American colonies were under attack, so Washington commanded a fleet of ships to intercept enemy supplies. Thus, the Navy was born and its headquarters were established in Washington, D.C. Their colors are blue and gold, and their core values are honor, courage, and commitment. The Navy is crucial to maintain, train, and equip combat, ready for naval forces that will be capable to defend the freedom of the seas. They are omnipresent in every major geographic area around the world. The very presence of the naval ships determines military aggression. The Navy is pivotal in protecting the seas and ensuring our freedoms.
On August 1, 1907, the United States Army Signal Corps established a small aeronautical division to take charge of all matters pertaining to military ballooning, air machines, and all kindred subjects. September 18th is the day the Air Force was founded. The youngest of the service branches, the Air Force was officially founded as an independent service in 1947, although the U.S. military deployed aerial components even back in World War I. Being an airman means upholding their mission, but it also means getting a one-of-a-kind experience and finding an excellent work-life balance. We thank the past and present members of the Air Force for their dedication and service to our great country.
The Coast Guard is one of the oldest organizations of the federal government. Established in 1790, the Coast Guard serves as the nation's only armed force on the sea until Congress launched the Navy Department 8 years later. Since then, the Coast Guard has protected the United States throughout its long history and served proudly in every one of the nation's conflicts. The Coast Guard is both a federal law enforcement agency and a military force, and therefore is a faithful protector of the United States in peacetime and war. In times of peace, the Coast Guard operates as part of the Department of Homeland Security, enforcing the nation's laws at sea, protecting the marine environment, guarding the nation's vast coastline and ports, and performing vital life-saving missions. In times of war or at the direction of the President, the Coast Guard serves under the Department of the Navy, defending the nation against terrorism and foreign threats. On an average day, the Coast Guard conducts 45 search and rescue cases, saves 10 lives, saves over $1.2 million in property, seizes 874 pounds of cocaine and 214 pounds of marijuana, conducts 57 waterborne patrols of critical maritime infrastructure, and facilitates movement of $8.7 billion worth of goods through the nation's maritime transportation system.
The Army National Guard started on December 13, 1636. On this date, the Massachusetts colonial legislature directed that the colony's existing militia companies be organized into 3 regiments. The National Guard is a special part of the U.S. military that, according to the group's website, serves both community and country. It's made up of mostly civilians who train 1 weekend each month with a more intensive 2-week training period each year on June 2nd.
The Guard responds to domestic emergencies, overseas combat missions, counter-drug efforts, reconstruction missions, and more. The citizens of the United States thank each and every past and present member of the Army National Guard for your bravery and dedication to our country.
World War I, also known as the Great War, officially ended when the Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1919. However, the fighting ceased 7 months earlier, when armistice of temporary cessation of hostilities between the Allied nations and Germany went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Veterans Day was known as Armistice Day at the time. It was changed in 1954 by President Dwight D. Eisenhower. It is fitting that the recurring anniversary of the date should be commemorated with thanksgiving and prayer, an exercise designed to perpetuate peace through goodwill and mutual understanding between nations. On November 11, 1918, peaceful relations with other nations resumed, which we hope will never again be severed. The legislature of 27 of our states, through Act 52, Statute 351, 5 U.S. Code, Section 87A, have already declared November 11th to be a legal holiday. On the same day, President Eisenhower sent a letter to the Honorable Harvey V. Higley, Administrator of Veterans Affairs, designating him as chairman of the Veterans Day National Committee. Since March 1989, when VA was elevated to a cabinet-level department, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs has served as the committee's chairman.
It's not only our high school that wants to celebrate Veterans Day. All our schools in Wayne County have something special put together for our veterans. This next segment includes all 5 elementary schools, both middle schools, and the high school, and they are sending a special message to our veteran heroes.
Good morning. My name is Carla Ogden, and I'm the principal at Jessup Elementary School. Veterans, we would like to thank you for your service to our country. And as a tribute to you today, we have a short presentation from Miss Jenny Collins's kindergarten class.
See the veterans, strong and brave, thank you for your service, on Veterans Day, see the veterans, strong and brave, thank you for your service, on Veterans Day. Thank you.
I want to say thank you for all the veterans that have served our country nobly over the years. We have it's such a privilege and an honor to live in America, where we have such a wonderful military that protects us and serves us unselfishly. Thank you, veterans.
Veterans Day matters because they fought for our country to keep us safe and sacrificed their lives for us to keep us safe. We can live our lives and be happy.
We can celebrate Veterans Day to remember the people in the military who are serving or retired. Our military protects us from people from other countries who want to attack us. My brother is serving, and one of my uncles is a retired Marine. We can thank veterans by thinking about them, standing for the flag, and doing the moment of silence. I am thankful for our military protecting us so we can live a safe life.
Veterans Day is a day that we honor because Veterans Day is a day we thank all the people who have served or are currently serving in the military to protect the U.S. and their country.
Thank you, veterans, for helping our country with wars, including World War I and II. Without you, veterans, the freedoms we have would not have been made right now, and our nation would be ruled by other countries such as Britain or Spain. I am also thankful for veterans like you for being there all that time in wars for other Americans. None of this would be like it is today without these veterans, which risk their lives for America. For veterans' respect, America created Veterans Day for the veterans who was in or retired from the military. We can respect these veterans by saying the pledge and singing the American anthem. I hope you have a great Veterans Day.
Veterans Day is when we honor those serving or have served in the military. Thanks to these men and women, we have so many freedoms we've simply grown accustomed to. Veterans Day is the perfect time to give thanks to any veterans you know, but what if you don't know any, or the ones you do died before you? How else can you give thanks and honor them? By living a loyal life to the country they helped to protect, saying the pledge and singing the anthem. So thank you, veterans.
Why Veterans Day is important. Veterans Day is important. It is important because it is a day to celebrate the people who fought or fight for America now. We need the U.S. military to protect our country and our freedoms. I would like to thank all the veterans that work so hard for the USA and risks their lives every day for U.S. citizens.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Brian Simon, principal of Martha Ross Smith Elementary School. As we embark on the auspicious day of November the 11th, looking at the day of celebration of our veterans, I have to go back and say that we salute you, we thank you for your service and everything that you have done to make our land as free as possible. With me reflecting on my family, my father being a vet, my uncles being a vet, as well as my uncles being a vet, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the things that you do for us. In the spirit of the Yellow Jackets, thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans, for your service.
Veterans Day by Darcy Hill. Veterans Day is all about honor. It's about serving your country, so everyone here can be free. Veterans Day is all about valor. It's about laying your life on the line to protect liberty. We raise our flag to you, the red, white, and blue. Veterans Day is all about courage. It's all about respecting the right of everyone to live without fear. And Veterans Day is all about heroes, the ones who stand up each day to defend the hope for us all. We raise our flag to you, the red, white, and blue. Say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Daddy, and thank you for Uncle for being in the military.
Thank you for your service.
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 We would just like to say thank you for everything that you do for us and for our country, and us here at Odom Elementary would just want to say thank you, and we appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
On behalf of all the Scriven Elementary Pirates, we'd like to say thank you to all of our veterans. Thank you for your service and your sacrifice to our country. We appreciate you.
On behalf of the students and staff from Scriven Elementary, we would like to take this opportunity to thank all those who have served in the U.S. military, which includes our veterans, active duty service, members, guardsmen, and reservists.
No matter which branch you have served in, or how many years you've served, raising your hand and committing yourself to service in the military was a brave and selfless act. It is your service and your sacrifice that has kept this country safe and free.
Our veterans have protected and defended our democracy, our freedom, our way of life. Without our veterans, we would not be where we are today. Without our veterans, there would be no land of the free.
The price of freedom is high. We cannot afford to forget those who are willing to pay it. So today and every day we honor and thank our veterans. Today it is our privilege to say thank you to all of America's veterans, to let them know we appreciate them for their service and honor them for their sacrifices.
Thank you for keeping this nation the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, veterans, for all your sacrifices for our freedom.
Happy Veterans Day! We love you!
Greetings from Arthur Williams Middle School. I'm Jeremy Foreman, the principal, and we're so honored to be honoring you on today. Thank you for all of your service and all the things that you've done for this great nation. Now for a presentation from us.
Thank you for your love of country.
Thank you for your honor.
Thank you for your strength. Thank you for your patriotism. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your loyalty.
Arthur Williams Middle School salutes veterans. Thank you for your sacrifice.
Wayne County High School salutes our veterans.
Thank you for all your service.
Happy Veterans Day!
In Flanders Fields is a war poem written during the First World War by Canadian physician Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae. He was inspired to write it on May 13, 1915, after presiding over the funeral of friend and fellow soldier Lieutenant Alex Hilmer. According to legend, fellow soldiers retrieved the poem after McCrae, initially dissatisfied with his work, discarded it. In Flanders Fields was first published on December 8th of that year in the London magazine Punch. It's one of the most quoted poems from the war. Its references to the red poppies that grew over the graves of fallen soldiers resulted in the remembrance poppy, becoming one of the world's most recognized memorial symbols for soldiers who have died in conflict. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
My name is Ralph D. Smart Jr. I served 20 years in the Army. I retired as a first sergeant My MOS was 98 Zulu 5 Mike, which means that I was a signal intelligence, electronic warfare operations chief.
I'm Mike I. Smith. I was served 4 years in the Air Force, 6 years in the Army National Guard. I was a sergeant, security specialist, for 1 year in Vietnam.
This is my grandfather from Odom, Georgia. He is David Jones. What branch of military did you serve in?
United States Marine Corps.
What date and time did you serve in?
I can't give you the exact date because I can't remember that good. It was roughly 1968 to February 27, 1970.
What did you like best about the Marine Corps?
It made a man of me.
Would you recommend it to high school students?
I sure would. Every student needs something to look forward to and to build a confidence in when they're growing up in life.
I am Dean Walgamuth. I served in the U.S. Air Force from 1955 to 1959. That was known as the Cold War era. I was stationed at Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina. And while I was there, I was on the staff of the base newspaper. And based on the 3 years experience there, that got me started in a career in journalism. And I spent more than 50 years in the field of journalism. So I got a career out of the Air Force. And more than that, I met my wife, a girl from South Carolina, and we've been married now for 59 wonderful years. And I think the Air Force was a tremendous experience for me. I wouldn't trade it for all the world. I got a lot of experience. I got to go to the Army Information School at Fort Slocum, New York, so I got to visit New York City during that time and learned a lot about that city, which I think is important in our nation, although I would never want to live there. It was nice to have visited there. And I got to go to Spokane, Washington area on maneuvers one time and had a good time out there enjoying that trip. And on that trip, flew out there in military aircraft that landed at Schilling Air Force Base in Salina, Kansas, which is 20 miles from where my parents lived. And I was able to tell them ahead of time that I was coming, and I had about a 10-minute visit with them while my plane was being refueled. And I wrote a story about that. Shaw Airman drops in to visit his parents, and it was carried from coast to coast. And I had a good time in the Air Force, met a lot of wonderful people, and ended up living in the South, having been assigned in the South. So I've been in the South now since 1955, even though I grew up in Kansas. But I say, flying boys, go Air Force, all the way.
Well, good morning. I'm John Carlton, and I was proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force from 1966 to 1970. And as you know, during that time, Vietnam was going on very, very much. I was one of the fortunate ones that did not have to go there. Uncle Sam decided to send me to where cold weather was and sent me to Fairbanks, Alaska. And so I had quite an experience there in Alaska. My wife and I, we got married in July of '68. I'd been in Alaska for a year, and I took that poor little old girl who'd never been away from home all the way 5,000 miles away to Fairbanks, Alaska. That's one of the reasons we've been together for 52 years. But the Air Force was good to me. I know that if it hadn't been for the Air Force, I don't know where I would be, because I got my head on straight, decided what I wanted to do, and got my priorities in order. I would encourage anyone who is looking for a place to go to learn discipline, to learn what they need to know, to try one of the services. They're good, they're very good in their training, and I'm proud to be a veteran of the United States Air Force.
There are 82,427 American personnel listed by the Defense Department's Prisoner of War and Missing in Action Office as missing and unaccounted for. The POW MIA is a flag of remembrance which features a white disc bearing in black silhouette a man's head and bust, a watchtower with a guard on patrol, and a strand of barbed wire. White letters POW and MIA with a white five-pointed star in between are typed above the disc. Below the disc is a black and white wreath above the motto, "You are not forgotten." This flag symbolizes the United States' resolve to never forget POWs or those who serve their country in conflicts and are still missing. Ultimately, the POW MIA flag is a symbol of hope, and hope is an astounding force. Hope is the belief that things will get better, and for our POW MIA, it is a reminder that we will never, ever forget. On November 19, 1863, during a time when our nation was torn in two, waging a war that at times tore families apart and pitted brother against brother, President Abraham Lincoln traveled to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to dedicate a national cemetery for over 500,000 soldiers who lost their lives in the Battle of Gettysburg. His words given on that day, over 150 years ago, are still applicable today when considering the price paid for our veterans to secure our freedom. On that cold November day, 155 years ago, President Lincoln stated, "The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. We will never forget our prisoner of war or missing in action heroes. As well, we will never forget those who paid the ultimate sacrifice and gave their lives so that we may live free. We will never forget all those who made it home and the pain and suffering of the families they left behind." This year, the Wayne County High School JROTC program has put together a ceremony to honor these POW and MIA soldiers. In this ceremony, everything you see on camera has a purpose and a meaning.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the table in the center of the room. This table is our way of symbolizing the fact that members of our profession of arms are missing from our midst. They are commonly called POWs or MIAs. We call them brothers. They are unable to be with us this Veterans Day, and so we remember them. This table, set for one, is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner, alone against his oppressors. Remember. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember. The single red rose, displayed on a vase, reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep the faith, awaiting their return. Remember. The yellow ribbon, tied so prominently on the vase, is reminiscent of the yellow ribbon worn upon the lapel and the breasts of thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting of our missing. Remember. The candle is lit, symbolizing the upward reach of their unconquerable spirit. Remember. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. Remember. There is salt upon the bread plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. Remember. The glass is inverted, for they cannot drink or dine with us. Remember. The chair is empty. They are not here. Remember. All of you who served with them and called them comrades, who depended upon their might and aid, and relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Remember. Remember. Until the day they come home. Remember.
Preaching. Arms.
Taps is such a powerful melody. Every time I hear it, it brings goosebumps. You know, when I think about the things I wish I could get a do-over in life for, I often wish that I had served in one of our branches of the military prior to attending college. When I was in grade school, I was your typical egocentric teenage boy and did not understand how important our military and our veterans were to the country that I love so much. I have so many friends and family members that have served, and I make it a point to thank them for their service. Had it not been for their selflessness, the United States of America, this great country, would not exist today. And with that, I would like to personally thank every veteran watching this program today for your service to our great nation. For your service, I thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Veterans, I want to thank you for your service and your sacrifice, not only to myself and my family, but to our country.
Thank you for your service.
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 Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much for your service and everything you do to serve our country and keep us safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your service.
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 Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.